The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I wanted to get your take on this. I think you're going to be in lockstep with him on this. But do you have an opinion on the Savannah Bananas? Is it entertainment? Is it sport? Is it just something fun for people to?
Well, I mean, I try to be a person that says just because it's not for me doesn't mean that it's not for other people. Mm-hmm. And if it's entertaining other people and they're not hurting anyone, I have no issues with it. It's not for me. But I think it's people like it and they're having fun with it and all that good stuff. Have at it. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's not, it's a baseball. I don't know if you want to call me a baseball purist or whatever.
You're a bit of a purist. It's okay.
I'm really, really, really bored with the game right now in Major League Baseball. It's a terrible product as far as I'm concerned. So people finding joy in the Savannah Bananas is totally fine with me.
Michael Wilbon he's been kind of strong with his opinions on it. He said that he said I'm not acknowledging that banana stuff. I'm not. They can sell out Wrigley Field from now until the cows come home. I'm not down with that. And then with his partner Tony Kornheiser, he'd say you'd be the only one. You'd be the only one not acknowledge it because it's entertainment and it sells out. That's what Kornheiser said.
That's not the reply. Mm-hmm. Would you go watch the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yes.
In a heartbeat.
Yes.
I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but if I had the opportunity to go watch the Harlem Globetrotters live and in person, I'm going because it's an entertaining show.
Sure.
They are athletes. They are performing athletic.
Question.
They are athletic achievements that they are doing when they are the skills that they are demonstrating is fantastic to watch. Savannah Bananas is the baseball version of the Harlem Globetrotters.
No doubt. No question about it.
Yeah, and I don't know why I feel differently about them. I can't really explain that to you because I do think the Harlem Globetrotters is entertaining. It's fun. It's flashy. I don't know. I don't have an answer for it.
It's a running shot clock violation.
Yeah, I don't have.
Well,
an
they've been
answer
around for 100 years, and that maybe is the difference. In the Savannah Banana stuff is relatively recent, within the last 5 years or so, in terms of the explosion of it.
And I can also tell you in clips that I've seen or whatever, and there was a time that I was like, oh man, I got to go see this in person just to say that I've done it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But now, having watched it on television for 5 minutes at a time, I'm like, oh, this is a beatdown. I despise this. And so I have no desire to do it, but at the same time I have at it, man. If people like it, people like it. I don't mean to your distaste and dislike for spring football or whatever, and I don't like that it shouldn't be on my television or whatever. Well, I have a remote, so I can turn the channel. I don't have a problem with the Savannah Bananas being on or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
And again, there's part of me that's like, Major League Baseball has made their game so incredibly boring right now that I don't blame people for wanting to go find something different. The game of Major League Baseball is a beatdown right now. College baseball, high school baseball, little league baseball, those aren't a beatdown. Those are fun brands of baseball. But Major League Baseball is boring.
What? So one last thing on the Savannah Bananas. I will say this: it was pretty impressive when Kerry Wood threw that behind the back pitch the other night. He's 49 years old and he threw a strike. I mean, it was pretty amazing, actually. I thought that was pretty cool.
He threw one over the plate.
He did throw one over the plate.
Behind his back?
Yeah, kind of.
How many times do you think it would take you to get that?
I'm not sure numbers go that high.
I think I could stand there all day long. I would struggle just throwing one over the plate, just regular handed.
I think if you gave us like 20 tries, I could get one over the plate.
Behind the back?
Yeah.
With a baseball?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not saying that what he did is not impressive, but that's not. I've seen them do other stuff that I think is more impressive than that.
Okay.
The bat twirl is still one of my favorite things to see.
Yeah, they do some stuff that's crazy. Just throwing the ball behind your back to home plate from the mound, that doesn't seem that difficult to me.
Let me ask you this: with regards to the Savannah Bananas, is it the singing performances that interrupt the game that bother you?
I don't know that I've come across one of those, Jeff. That would definitely. I mean, bother is not the right word. It's just it's not entertaining to me. I'm not bothered by any of it.
I think it's to me it's just a little over the top.
It's not repulsive or
no.
It's crude or anything like that.
If they came to Lubbock, I'd go see them.
Then we don't have a stadium. They could sell out the Jones. The Jones isn't big enough.
Well, that's what they've been doing. They've been going to football stadiums and they've been kind of recreating that stuff.
Yeah, and people like it, and I think that's great. I want people to have joy in their life. I don't want them to be angry about it.
So, what is there one thing that you would like to see changed with Major League Baseball that would help you?
Not the rules.
No, but I'm just in terms of the style of play.
Yeah. Guys getting on base and it not being all about home runs.
Yeah.
Guys getting on base and action on the base paths. Mm-hmm. That's
moving a runner over and stealing a base and hitting a double.
You can't move runners over if they're not on.
Yeah. No, it certainly is.
I mean, you just watched your team yesterday. If you're a Rangers fan, get 2 hits and 7 walks or whatever. Walks are also boring, by the way. Okay. So right now the pitchers are either so far ahead of the hitters or the hitters are just, there's this different style of, we're never, choking up. I'm never trying to push one through to get on base. I'm just swinging for the fences all the time. I don't care if there's 2 strikes or not. It is all about launch angle and it is about hitting home runs. And home runs are fun when you hit them, but it's boring when you don't.
After the walk to Nicky Lopez, the Rangers did attempt a bunt. They didn't execute it, but they did attempt
What was that, their second or third this season?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just boring brand of baseball. It's not the Rangers I'm picking on here.
No, I know you're not. I know.
My team is pathetic offensively, okay? I mean, the Rangers are, greatest show on turf compared to my team. It's just boring brand of baseball, the way that they've changed it to just be about hitting home runs and not trying to get on base and go the opposite way and get on, steal bases and all the above. It's boring. It's just not fun baseball.
6:40 this morning on the Morning Drive. This Day in Sports History is next. We will get to basketball. I want to get to some conversation on that as well this morning, especially with what's going on here in town. But this Day in Sports History is next.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Morning Drive. Today is Friday, July the 31st, 2026, the last day of the month. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Starting us off in 1930. New York Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig drives in 8 runs with a grand slam and 2 doubles in a 14-13 win over the Boston Red Sox.
Wow.
Good thing good old Lou was on his base pass that day. 1963. Cleveland Indians tie a record of 4 consecutive home runs to beat the California Angels 9-5. Woody Hield, Pedro Ramos, Tino Francano. No way I got that right. And Larry Brown all go deep for the Indians. 1981, mid-season strike by Major League Baseball players ends after 42 days. Caused the cancellation of 713 games. Players and owners come to an agreement on the free agent compensation.
This is 1981?
This is 1981.
Probably my most miserable summer. Lots of things. Not just that, but lots of things.
Still think I'm going 2020.
I understand. I mean, you weren't around in 1981.
I was just very small.
Yeah. And 2020 was tough, no question.
1990. Texas Rangers pitcher Nolan Ryan records his 300th career victory with an 11-3 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, becoming the 20th Major League Baseball pitcher to reach the milestone. And in 2016, former Red Raider A.J. Ramos gets his only win of the year in relief for the Marlins in their 5-4 win over the Cardinals. Don't feel bad for A.J. with only one win on the year. He had 40 saves that year.
Nice.
So, one win and 40 saves, not a bad year.
Sounds like a reliever.
It is National Cotton Candy Day. It is National Avocado Day, because those two go together like peas and carrots.
Avocados from Mexico.
And it is also Jump for Jelly Beans Day. So if someone offers you a jelly bean, you have to jump, I
That
guess.
sounds like a lot of effort.
Are you a jelly bean fan?
I like jelly beans.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Mark Cuban, turned 68 today. Wesley Snipes, 64. Dean Cain is 60. DeMarcus Ware, 44. And Andre Ware is 53. Or, I'm sorry, 58. And on this day, 1975.
Oh, this is going to be good.
James Hoffa, one of the most influential American labor leaders of the 20th century, is officially reported missing. He failed to return home from a previous night, though his popularity believed to have been the victim of a mafia hit.
No.
Conclusive evidence has never been found about his whereabouts, and his body remains missing.
They will never find
They
him.
will never find that body.
Yeah, he is Gonzalez, head of the Teamsters. And do you find yourself when those things come on, the missing Jimmy Hoffa stuff, do you find yourself watching that?
I used to, and then I started working in media, and I realized that if any of that it was actually true, it would be on Fox News, it'd be on NBC News, it'd be on CBS News, it would be there. It wouldn't be on whatever random cable channel is showing a documentary on it.
Yeah. Well, they spent a lot of time to retrace his steps and stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean, it's fascinating. They dug up the end zone in Giant Stadium because they thought he was there and blah, blah, blah.
And he wasn't.
And he wasn't, right.
And then when they tore the stadium down, they looked at the 50-yard line, and he wasn't.
Well,
That's Disney sports history.
We learned. Thank you. We learned who Deep Throat was. With Watergate. So the other two.
Why do we need his body?
It was just so intriguing. It was.
Why
just,
do we need to know where he's buried?
It would be like if I don't even know who would be on par. Like,
to me, he and DB Cooper are the two guys that are like still kind of missing in action. That you'd like to know what the end result, where their demise was. Did DB Cooper get it? Did he escape, or was he dead in the trees and they just never found his body?
I think he's dead in the trees and never found his body.
Okay.
Because enough of the money hasn't come out.
Yeah.
I mean, he stole all the money and then didn't use it.
Well, it was a hijack, but I mean, he
Well, no, he hijacked the plane.
I know, and they gave him the money. It was the ransom money. He didn't steal it. They gave it to him, but he was holding people hostage.
But then didn't spend it.
Right.
On anything. Like, all those bills are marked. Every single one of them are. They know every.
They found some
number.
of them on a beach. Some little boy, digging in the sand there in Seattle.
He died in a tree somewhere.
Okay. And Jimmy Hoffa's he's in a trash can somewhere in the ocean, weighted down in concrete.
Okay.
Or just cut up in Ben fish food.
Yeah. Those are the and then the guys from Alcatraz that allegedly escaped and swam to shore and sent letters to the FBI later on in life. Those are the guys that you kind of wonder what happened to them. A couple of brothers.
Oh, and the third, the three of them.
There was three of them.
And the third,
three of them.
Right now.
Yeah, three of them.
The guys that made the paper mache masks.
Yes,
the
right.
Heads that they had in the
whole thing.
bed check,
right.
and made a rubber raft to try to get across the bay there in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. All those things. So those are the people that you kind of wonder about. Some days, not every day. There's days that I wonder about them.
Kind of like us.
Yeah.
People wonder about us every day.
Oh,
for different reasons.
I don't know. I mean, 6:52. Hey, did you see what Curt Cignetti, the Indiana coach, said at Big Ten Media Days?
I did not.
He said this: The Big Ten is the best league in football and a lot of really good football teams. It's hard to win on the road. Very physical football teams, very well coached. It definitely prepares you for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves. Then he goes on to say this: we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. We believe that everything's earned, not given. And when we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry a river, whine, and complain. All right? And that's why we're the best. Best league is what he's... It's hard to argue that they're not the best league.
Well, definitely last year they were.
Yeah. I mean, they've won the last 3 national championships. Yeah. So they're pretty good. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. And they would like the Big Ten, much like the Big 12, and other leagues, like to get to 24 teams in a playoff. And I think it was him. If it wasn't him, it was one of the other coaches. No, it was Matt Rule. Matt Rule was talking yesterday, the Nebraska coach. And he was, and I thought he made a good point. He was talking about like the late season NFL games when you have a couple of teams that are, don't have the best of records, and they're playing each other, but the winner potentially could get a bye, and the wild could get a bye or get a wild card, and it just makes those games compelling. And his point was, you could really make more compelling games in the late stages of the season with a 24-team playoff that makes the college football season interesting to the end, almost for everybody. And I think he's right, and I think that would certainly. I think that'd be great. I'm glad we're past the days of when you only have 2 or 4 teams that make it, and somebody loses that opening weekend that is the number 1 team, and then they have no shot at all, to play for a championship.
Right, no doubt.
So I don't know.
Well, it's just like with what the wild card has done in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kept teams involved.
75% of both the American League and National League are still in it.
Yeah.
Because of the extra wild cards that are in there, and they have a chance, which is going to make games more compelling. It's going to make teams being, trying to be buyers instead of sellers. They're still competing and not giving up on the year. And that's the same kind of thing that will happen with college football is if teams say, hey, they got a couple losses or whatever, but they still have a shot to get into the final 24 to get into the college football playoff, their fan base is still fired up, jacked up about it, and ready to go.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
7:15 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's nice to have you with us today. Hopefully you're ending the week well and ending the month well, and get all your stuff done that you've got to get done before the end of the month, and then you get to start another month. That's just kind of how it goes. And one ends and one starts. And so it just makes it, I don't know, interesting, I guess.
Guess right?
So and things will start kind of going back to normal for folks with kids getting back in school next couple of weeks and regular schedule and all that kind of stuff. We get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I think the loss of Brendan Sorsby is bigger than you're letting on. Otherwise, why did you go to the lengths to bring him in and then subsequently the lengths to hold on to him? I think that's a fair question and a fair point. I know that they've said that they felt real if Will Hammond hadn't been injured, they wouldn't have gone and gotten him. Okay. That's what they've said. I'll take it.
Do you believe that?
I'll take it at face value. No, because I think...
So you're not taking it at face value.
I said you can take it. I said you can take it at face value. I'm not taking that at face value. I felt like a year ago they needed to have some help, for Barron because, he wasn't working out in the offseason. He wasn't able to throw. And so it makes it really hard to get your offense in sync when your quarterback can't do anything. And I think
they feel like that was the case
for this year.
For last year. Did you think that you ended up being right?
Oh, do I think I ended up being right? No, no, because he stayed relatively healthy, and I do think you're really rolling the dice here, because it's been 2015 since your quarterback went a full season without missing a game.
I don't think it's fair to say you're rolling the dice, because when you roll the dice, you make a choice to roll the dice.
Okay.
You didn't choose.
True.
This.
That's fair.
Yeah, you didn't choose. You didn't say, "Hey, we're going to take this risk." No, you were pushed into this situation. So go back to the initial text by the texter. Fair enough. I think with Brendan Sorsby, I thought you had a chance to do some damage in the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're still, with Will Hammond at quarterback, plenty more talented than the rest of the Big 12. Mm-hmm. I think you've come back to the pack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're plenty more talented than the rest of the Big 12. I just don't think you have the big upside when it comes to the playoff.
Okay.
With Hammond compared to Sorsby. So,
and part of that's experience and all those other things.
And that's what we're all hoping for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody over at Texas Tech football and everybody that's a Red Raider fan, what you're hoping for is, we have seen some really good stuff from Will Hammond at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're hoping that we see that more consistently now, and we see him as he gets first team reps and reps in games, that he just keeps getting better and better with experience and age and maturity on the field, like normal guys normally do. And so, again, I think the Will Hammond of the Utah game last year, you're rolling past this Big 12 conference. You get to the Will Hammond of the last couple of games that he was in there, and it was not as good. It was not as good. And we kind of touched on this yesterday. I think you go back to the Arizona State game where you said, hey, Will Hammond, don't lose it for us, and we're going to let the defense win it for us, and don't lose it for us. And you take away all the things that Will Hammond is good at, and guess what? He wasn't good. He wasn't good until the last drive, where he was phenomenal, where, again, you let him air it out, and you let him show off his strengths. So that's got to get figured out as well.
Yeah, so you hope the consumer confidence from Mac Leftwich and Joey McGuire and the guys that are game planning that Will has given them the confidence to let him do what he can do.
Right.
And that's the thing there. So, and somebody else says this, with Sorsby, the chasm between Tech and the rest of the Big 12 was enormous, with an unknown coming off of an ACL injury. Commodity. The gap is still big, just not as enormous. Yeah, I mean, and by him being able to play from week one on, it gives him the opportunity to give you that feeling that you can be and have that gap between yourself and the other teams. Or it could give you cause for concern if you struggle in the first three games.
Yes, no doubt. And then we're sitting there going, well, you're allowed to get better, right? Those are the kind of things that we're saying. At the same time, if you're not good in those first three games, especially considering who your first two opponents are, you're probably saying, there's a ceiling that's lower than we thought it was. Right?
Mm-hmm. So I in essence, I did turn out to be wrong last year, and I hope you don't need Kirk Francis, but history says at some point in time you're going to need him. You just hope you don't need him too much, because you want your starting quarterback to be your starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. Everybody does, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody does. 7:21 this morning here on the morning drive.
But what scares me a little bit in this whole deal is, as we talked about yesterday when we talked about the way you handled Will Hammond in the Arizona State game and in other games, and where you were being a little bit cautious and you were protecting him because he was QB number 2 at the time, and you didn't want to go to QB number 3, right? Okay, unless you absolutely had to, which for a while there you did. But this year, again, you're kind of, he's QB1 right now, but coming into the offseason, he was not. And so do you have the same worries and concerns of, hey, we got to be careful with Will here so we're not going to QB2 or 3 or whatever, because really that's not QB2. It really was supposed to be QB3.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's that fine line for this coaching staff to say, we got to let Will do what Will does to be successful. At the same time, we got to protect him to make sure we're not going to the backups.
Because let's face it, if Sorsby had been here, okay, and something happens to him, you could say there's a drop off between the two, but it's not the drop off between the two of Will Hammond and Kirk Francis. With all due respect to Mr. Francis.
Yeah, and a lot of people have had the discussion of which one are you going to if you do lose Will Hammond, which would it be Lloyd Jones or would it be Kirk Francis? And so we really don't even know.
Yeah. And then the other nice thing the really, really nice thing that you have is you have a super talented running back room. Now you still have to have some diversity in your offense. You can't just hand it off left and hand it off right.
Oklahoma of the 80s would disagree.
Right. No, I got you.
Running the option or the wishbone.
But they had a really good quarterback in Jamel Holloway, and then they had fill in the blank back that seemed to have just breakaway speed, no matter who they put in there. Somebody says, "What happened to you're allowed to get better?" I guess that doesn't apply to Will Hammond. Sure it does. I mean, you are allowed to get better. He is allowed, and that's what you hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Him getting all these first team reps in practice and all of that, you're hoping that's gonna play into it. And then also, even more important than that, getting so many reps in games. He's just going to be able to read defenses better.
Yeah, so you would hope that he's exponentially further along than he was a year ago, right?
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, so I think one of these answers will be pretty obvious as to which one I'm going with, but I've got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
2 questions. I want you to tell me a team in the Big 12 that you think is getting overhyped and a team in the Big 12 that you think is getting underhyped.
I think Oklahoma State is getting overhyped.
Okay, so that was obviously my answer too. And I think they're going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And shocking as it is, in my little teeny tiny heart, I feel like I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
Partly because Eric Morris is a Red Raider, but partly because
the extent of that imagination there.
Yeah. Partly because we found out that he was one of the guys that was the most supportive of Coach McGuire when all this was going on, and so I appreciate that, and kind of speaks to him being a good West Texas dude.
Yeah.
If he just wasn't at that school.
I know. That program.
Yeah, I hope he does well. I just hope he doesn't do well against us, obviously.
Fair enough. Yep.
I liked him when he was here. So, and I thought he was a good dude, not only as a player but also specifically as a coach. Okay, I think even though some people have him up there, I think Arizona is not getting the talk, at least in these parts, that I feel like that they should.
Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And where do you think, how high do you think they'll finish?
Man, I think some of this depends on is Houston who we think it is, okay? And because I think 2, 3, and 4 could be BYU, Houston, and Arizona, or Houston, BYU, and Arizona. But if Houston isn't who we think it is, then I think Arizona could be up there and then contend BYU for the second spot.
Okay.
I feel dirty saying this. The team probably not getting enough hype is the Houston Cougars. If the Red Raiders' schedule is cupcake soft, and it is, the Cougars might be just cake soft. They've got to come to Lubbock. They've got a Utah game. That's it. Everything else, I would pick them to win that game.
It looks like it's a 10-2 team. It looks like a 10-2 schedule. And can you pull off the upset at Utah?
Yeah.
You also have a road trip to Kansas State that I don't think it's an easy one for them. But I think they're going to go 10-2. So to me, that seems like that's good enough to equal their hype.
I'm saying that I don't think nationally they're getting the hype that when you're talking about when other people are like the pundits and ESPN, everybody talking about.
It feels like the national folks in the Big 12, it's Texas Tech and it's BYU, and there's nobody else.
Yeah.
So
I don't feel like.
And Oklahoma State.
Not to win the Big 12.
No, I know, but I mean, in terms of just getting.
Yeah. I think
the airtime.
Houston's got a legitimate shot to be in the Big 12 championship game. If they can pull off an upset, they could be in that Big 12 championship game as in a rematch with Tech, where we will destroy them by 50 points again. But getting there is, half the battle. The team that I just don't see it is TCU, and it's any hype like that. How are they even mentioned in the middle of the conference?
TCU is really intriguing to me, and I think I lean a little bit with Jeff here. It's just to hear Sonny Dykes talk. I mean, he makes it feel like they are, discount store team. And I think they have more talent than that to act like they're little sisters of the poor or whatever. It's just like Sonny has become this wine bag that makes you we should feel bad for TCU. I'm not really certain what his direction is, what his goal is of saying all that stuff, but I'm kind of with Jeff and feeling like they're not going to be great, but at the same time, I don't think their roster is horrible. They're not. The Oklahoma State is definitely my number one team that I think is getting more hype. I think they're going to finish about middle of the pack in the Big 12, so around 7, 8, 9, probably more 8, 9 than 7, 8. So anyway, that's the team that I would go with. The team that I don't think is getting enough hype, and it's just because I think so highly of their coach, and I think they have a decent roster, is Arizona State. You rattled off 4 or 5 teams that you thought would be at the top, and you didn't mention Arizona State. I think Arizona State will be in, top 4 probably, somewhere around there. I just think Kenny Dillingham is a really good coach, and so I would not be surprised at all. I think Utah also is not getting a ton of hype. For whatever reason, I just look at that program and say, even though they had a head coach that meant so much to them, the guy who's stepping in was his right-hand man, and I just don't feel like there's going to be a tough transition there. I could be totally wrong on that. So that's another team I feel like is not getting as much hype as they deserve.
Okay. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Oklahoma State overhype, agree. They'll be better, and I hope Morris does well there, but I'm seeing them picked top 5 by some people, and I don't see it. UNT's schedule was very easy, and the 2 best teams they played, UCF and Tulane, soundly beat them. Okay. Underhyped Kansas State, easy schedule, and Colin Klein should bring out the best of Avery Johnson.
Should. That scares me.
Yeah.
Because I think he's talented.
Yeah, they who knows? They could be sneaky. I think TCU will be in the middle of the pack. They're coming off back-to-back 9-4 seasons. I think they will do something similar and end up middle of the pack. And I mean, TCU's used to being kind of having the rich, and they're not really going to like the poor boy attitude of Sonny Dykes unless he's trying to bring out
It's just very whiny.
Yeah, unless he's trying to bring the pockets out full of
maybe,
cash.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to goad somebody into doing something.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
8:15 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us today. All right, so the story came out yesterday. Probably no surprise with regard to Texas Tech basketball and a couple of the guys being involved now in a lawsuit to seek eligibility. That's what we're after here. Darion Williams and Donovan Atwell are now part of a new lawsuit. This has been filed in the state of North Carolina. This is for players who were in the 2022 high school recruiting class who have only played 4 years and are not grandfathered in for the 5-for-5 model that goes into effect this year. I guess you'd love to have them both, and they're waiting to hear on JaMychal Stillwell. I mean, if you got those three, that exponentially changes your basketball team.
Yeah, it would be massive for your team.
Massive.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think I would be surprised but I mean, maybe I shouldn't be. I mean, Atwell, he played in the summer league with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, he's not played in a regular season game. He wasn't drafted, but he went into the draft. He didn't get drafted, and he wasn't. So I don't know what his status is with the Bulls. My guess is he'll get invited to, the training camp when it gets started later in the fall, and could be.
My guess is that he doesn't feel good about
making the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe feel good about his chances of making a team, at least from the get.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have to go down to the G League and continue to show that he can shoot the three.
Or he's just really, there was a class here that he couldn't get to. He couldn't fit it in. He's really wanting to get in. And so he's like,
was it offered? It's only offered in the fall. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. Okay. It was full by the time he signed up.
Okay.
And so he wanted to sign up. So he's really trying to get that class taken care of. And yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. And I guess what if you're going to trust your head coach, and I think you do, you're just going to have to trust that bringing back a guy like Darion Williams, despite how it ended, is best for your basketball team at this point in time. You just have to kind of feel that way. You can choose not to. You don't have to. Nobody's going to hold a gun to your head. But I think that clearly if he's been around the team all summer, they must feel like it's okay.
You would think so.
Yeah. Now, here's the question. With all the court stuff going on, do you think the basketball players they won't get the narrative that others have gotten with court cases? Will they? The criticism?
Oh no! I mean, there's gonna be guys across the country, guys and girls across the country that are gonna benefit from this.
Be eligible.
Yeah,
if they're able to get it done.
It's not just the Texas Tech guys.
Yeah.
We might benefit from it more than most schools because most of the bigger schools, the real contenders, probably maybe had a better off season than you did, and weren't in the desperate need to add guys like this, like it feels like you were.
Yeah, because I mean, it feels like it's not panned out.
And what do you think about some of the? Just talk about a couple of the guys maybe that you signed on through the transfer portal to come, play a wing position for you and be the 3-point shooter, or hey, you're going to get major minutes being one of our top 2 guards.
I don't.
And they're like, oh, never mind. The guy that was playing in the NBA this summer, he's coming back.
Is that a sorry about you moment for them?
Well, they're not the one that changed the rules.
I know, but I mean, it's sorry that it's not going to work out for you.
Well, hopefully it still works out. Hopefully they can still be a good player on the team.
Yeah.
But they were coming here probably with the coaching staff saying, hey, man, we're probably going to need you to play, 28, 30 minutes a game. Well, I mean, and all of a sudden they're going to go, hey, you might be getting 10 to 12 minutes a game.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant McCaslin's not necessarily a guy that spreads the minutes a ton. No, and it's worked for him. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's just a fact, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So you kind of hate it for those guys that thought they were coming into one situation, but now they're going to end up coming into a different situation.
I mean, you got 9 guys on your roster right now. You got 2 that are freshmen, one that's a redshirt freshman, one that is injured, and you're kind of wondering, okay.
Red shirt? What is that? Those don't exist anymore, right?
Well, hey, I've got a red shirt on.
Yeah, he's got a red shirt. That's what he's listed as. Latrell Hoover's listed as a redshirt freshman.
So he's already redshirted for a year.
Yeah, so.
Right, so he doesn't get.
He's got 4 more years.
He's only got 4 years to play.
I'm sure.
What was he thinking?
I don't know. Just the way. The thing that I'm going to be fascinated about is with regard to all these players that are coming back and trying to get their 5th year, and not just Texas Tech, but I just wonder how much money's left in the bank, so to speak, and are these guys going to have to? Are they going to, for all their suing, thinking that they're going to do pretty well? They may not do quite as well as they would have thought that they were going to do, because there may not be as much money. There may not be the money left. They might say, "Hey, we want you, but this is our budget."
Yeah, I don't know how that works out. I don't know if Grant McCaslin has to go to his donors now and say, "Hey, we didn't think we had a chance to get these guys back. We're gonna need more money to get them."
Well, he may have money back more than maybe other teams do, because he only has 9 players.
Yeah.
So he may have a little more in the kitty, so to speak, than other teams in the Big 12 or other teams around the country.
And the kitty.
In the kitty, yeah, right. Yeah.
So are we? Is Momo Faye?
I don't think that's happening.
That's not happening.
I don't think that's happening.
Disappointing.
I have not spoken to anybody, but that's my understanding. I don't think that's.
I bet you've spoken to a lot of people, Chuck.
I have, but shockingly, I went over to watch a little bit of women's hoops yesterday, and it was just, I talked to one person, but Fink and I we did the most talking to each other. That doesn't come as any surprise.
No one
to
is
you.
surprised by that.
There's no surprise.
That would be a not bold statement.
Do you think they even listen to each other, or do they just both keep just talking?
No, Fink's he is a great listener. He's much better than me.
Yeah.
He's a great listener.
He's a great guy.
But I did have to clarify something too. I did have to tell him something about 5 times before he finally understood it. And I said, "Oh God, if you understand this, then don't understand what I'm saying. Then it'll never work on the air." But he finally, the light bulb finally went off inside his head, and I'm like, "Okay."
Are you fascinated right now, Jeff? I got to know what this is.
Okay, so here's the catch, though. We would need to hear the whole lead-up conversation.
No,
and I don't know that we have time before upon further review to get to it.
How much do I have? Do I have a minute?
You barely.
I think I can.
Okay, stop talking, Jeff. Go, Chuck.
Okay, so here was my deal. Texas Tech in Orlando at the Walt Disney World of Sports will take on South Florida. Okay, and I said to Fink, I can hardly wait to say, in this matchup between Texas Tech and South Florida, Christy Curry has a losing record. Because her last game at Texas Tech, we
lost to
South Florida. Right. It was just kind of but it took a while to flip that switch.
Stretch Armstrong looked at that and went, wow. Got to go back for that one.
Yeah.
That's good.
So anyway, I just thought I thought it was clever, but
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.